Estoy grabando, Fernando.
Mike, can you tell me first your name and your role in the team?
Sure. Michael Gamble, Gamble, that's last name, and the role is lead producers.
Okay. How do you define Anthem? What is Anthem?
Anthem is a cooperative, always connected online game with great stories, great characters, and you use the piloting of a javelin as part of the game and how you traverse through it. And to do that, you're a freelancer. A freelancer is a pilot, and they're part of an old order of protectors of humanity.
And I know that it's a cooperative game, but how do you combine to be the hero in a cooperative game,
right,
in which all the players want to be the hero?
Right. So the way that we're doing that is you have your personal story, so the choices, the decisions that you make with the characters in Fort Tarsis, which is the game's hub, those are your choices, you're the hero in there. And then you get together with a bunch of other freelancers in the open world, and then you run missions with them, and you do that cooperatively. So you're part of a freelancer team, one of the 4 javelins that you can use to do that, but there's a connection and there is a personal choice and relationship building that you have inside Tarsis, which is your home.
And every time you play, you can choose your javelin?
Yes, yeah. So before you go out on a mission, you choose between one of the 4 javelins, whichever one you want.
But if you want, you can play all the time with the same friends you have?
If you want to have the same javelin, you can. However, every javelin has unique customization and unique gear, so you can swap out the gear for different areas. So the big guy, the Colossus, he will have a mortar or a mortar cannon, but you can swap that out for a rail gun, for example, right? You're still staying with the Colossus, but you're choosing different gear. You're having different progression as part of that.
Your games always have a great narrative, and even Mass Effect has a trilogy. Which is the conception of this game? Do you have an idea to expand the narrative of the game? To make more games, more to second part, or only about the DLCs?
Right. So we're trying to make the whole game that you get next year in February as solid and as whole and as large as possible, so that it gives you a ton of content to go through. There's a live service plan, so we'll have other things that we can solve over time and do different content over time. Some of the story threads we're gonna have the option for later on continuity. But in terms of anything after that, we don't have any plans at this point. It's more we want everyone to get a great game when they get it next year, a big game that they can play.
But I hear yesterday in the conference that the narrative director says that to make the work in that way that you can put new narratives in the game, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. So it doesn't matter. It can be as small as new lines with an existing character, or it can be new characters, or it can be new areas, new missions, new locations. We have the choice to do all of those different things. It just, whatever feels right for the stories that we want to tell, we'll just use those. But for now, we have the ability to do it. That's all.
And there's something in the game that is very funny. Is that there's storms that transform the world every time. How do you explain how it works?
Sure. So the core concept of the game is that there were these shaper gods who were creating the world, and that those shaper gods had their tools. And as you see the world, you'll see massive mechanical machines kind of scattered throughout the wilderness, and those are the tools of the shaper gods. But halfway through, before they were done, they disappeared. They vanished, and no one knows where they were. And this energy and these tools are active, and they're unpredictable, and they're dangerous, and they create storms and different kinds of wildlife and unique challenges for the player. And so in this really, really dangerous world, the only hope for kind of survival are folks like the freelancers and the javelins that they pilot. So that's the core of what the shaper stuff is.
And for all the players, it's synchronized in the real time. And what I see like a player is what the other players are.
So whenever you create a game, you will be on a dedicated server. So you will connect to that dedicated server, and we have the control over what is on that dedicated server. So if it's nighttime for you, it'll be nighttime for me. Sorry. If it's nighttime for you, it'll be nighttime for me. If it's a storm for you, it'll have a storm for me, and vice versa. And we have a control over all of that.
For all the players in the same server?
Yes, and across all servers as well. Yes, yeah. So the entire world will see what we want them to see.
All the players, not the 4 players of your game, all the players in the servers, in all the servers.
Correct, yes, yeah. So every dedicated server that is in the game will see exactly what we want to see at the same time.
And also the storms when there's
Correct. That way it allows us to tell cool things after launch. So like, oh, on Monday a storm is open. Everyone in the world can then join in and do the storm at that point. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Oh, no problem.
Can we take a...
Sí.